how to buy and invest in shares outside the US. What if we told you there was a way to make money trading stocks without doing it in the US? Although the US stock market has made many billionaires and even more millionaires, it isn't the only stock market in the world. The international stock market is an untapped resource that can bear great fruit once given a chance. This video shows you how to buy and invest in shares outside the US. Before we dive into this video on the top 5 best trading platforms globally for 2022, please make sure to like and subscribe. This way you can find the best information to keep your finances in perfect shape. The stock market is different from other markets like food markets, car markets, or clothes markets. However, much of the mechanics used to break down and discuss these other markets apply to the stock market as well. What do we mean by that? For instance, although these markets differ in the assets they offer, they are pretty similar in terms of other economic mechanics such as supply and demand, shortage, and price fluctuations. And so, if you went to a market to buy some groceries and found out that they were finished, what would you do? Would you go back home? Of course not. After all, it would be best if you had the groceries. And so, what would you do? You would find another market. That seems reasonable. Although the US stock market is a phenomenal place to make money, some traders are too attached to it. All markets fluctuate, but some people are more tolerant of the US stock market's shortcomings than others. They accept its bad periods all too easily, without looking for alternatives. The secret of most successful stock traders is that they don't keep all their eggs in one basket. While the US stock market underperforms, other international stock markets may be thriving. And so, as a trader, how exactly do you get into these international stocks? What are the barriers to look out for? What are the requirements? Well, if you want to know, then stick around. We break this down in detail ahead. So, what exactly is the international stock market? Well, from the name alone, it should be pretty self-explanatory. But then, don't think of the international stock market as a single unit. Like America, every country has its unique stock market, and the German stock market will be slightly different from the Thai stock market. And these stock markets all have various rules. Sure, they might not offer the high risk and the high reward of the US stock market. However, they can make you comfortably rich. If you are a beginner stock trader, then the international stock market can be an excellent place for you to learn the rules of the game. What are the benefits of investing in the international stock market? Well, if you were paying attention, you should have picked up on a few of these already. But for the benefit of the doubt, let's repeat and break these benefits down. For one, you get extra security and stability. It's a universal investor proverb not to put all your eggs in one basket. Although most people interpret that statement to mean they need to diversify their portfolios, sometimes it means you need to think outside the box and reach into unusual markets. If you have assets in international stock markets, you won't be too worried whenever the US stock market fluctuates. Another benefit of investing in the international stock market is getting a more consistent cash flow. It's just like having multiple streams of income. In addition, you earn in multiple currencies, which means that you lose less every time you perform a transaction in that same foreign currency. Isn't that great? Now that we've discussed the benefits, what are some drawbacks of trading internationally? Well, we can't go without mentioning political instability. Not every country is as politically stable as the US, and most are reasonably stable. However, international relations between foreign bodies can sour at any time. Say you hold stocks on the German stock exchange. If Germany and the US suddenly got into conflict with each other, you might not be able to access your funds at all. Another thing to watch out for is transaction costs. Sometimes, converting between currencies, in addition to paying for platform fees, can cause you to lose money in percentages that add up. This is further worsened by the fact that the relative values of each currency change pretty often and are affected by things like inflation. Okay, so after weighing the benefits and the drawbacks of trading international stocks, let's say you still decide to go along with it. Then in that case, how exactly are you supposed to trade international stocks? Well, stick around to find out. Well, the good old-fashioned way to buy stocks would be to use stockbrokers. If you don't know what a stockbroker is, well, they are an individual who serves as an intermediary between a client and the market. Some clients can trade directly, but not everyone has that level of expertise. Stockbrokers are essential to beginner stock traders because they can take their funds and skillfully apply them to the intended purpose. Investment firms usually hire stockbrokers. And so, to find a good one, research the best investment firms in your intended international market. They also understand tax laws very well and keep you from getting in trouble. More on this later. Another way to buy stocks internationally is to use stock trading platforms. These are apps and websites like Fidelity, Interactive Brokers, TI Ameritrade, and E-Trade. This will be more complicated than using a stockbroker and is usually recommended for only expert stock traders. However, if you don't want to cut a stockbroker into your profits and feel you are sufficiently prepared, then go ahead. As an international stock trader, one of them is tax, among all the things you need to watch out for. International tax laws differ from U.S. tax laws, so you need to make sure you research them and do the right thing. Some countries have a tax treaty with the U.S., and therefore, you can trade without worrying too much. It is your job to determine which is which for the best possible financial outcome. Coming to the end of this video, we hope you've learned much about how to buy and invest in shares outside the U.S. By expanding your financial portfolio to international markets, you have a chance to increase your profits far above what they should be. And so, what exactly are you waiting for? In any case, to learn more, please check out our other videos on the top 5 best crypto exchange platforms and the top 5 best trading platforms for 2022. These will make sure you remain financially literate and always know how to manage your money to attain maximum profit. Well, that's all for today. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you enjoy the video. This way, you will easily find the absolute best financial knowledge. Until next time, have a great day. Catch you later.